I welcome all the students for today's class. In this lecture video, we are going to discuss about the second topic, that is functions of HR manager. Let's see the lecture objectives. To understand the basic functions of human resource manager. So there are different functions that are performed by the human resource manager in the organization. In this lecture, we are going to understand what are the different basic functions of human resource manager. So finally, at the end of the lecture, you will be able to recognize the functions of human resource manager. Now, human resource manager play a very important role in the organization, especially in the development, in the management of people in the organization. And every time when you listen the word human resource, HR, so you may have an opinion that HR involved in the recruitment only. But HR manager play a very important role for the organization in terms of the people in the organization, because the people in the organization are precious, because you need to handle the people in a very very sensitive manner. So otherwise, people is one of the main important resource for the organization. So until you handle them, so you cannot accomplish the organizational goals. So that's the reason why human resource manager play a very important role in the organization in terms of handling the people in the organization. So during this process of handling the people, they are going to exhibit two different functions. They are namely managerial functions. The other one is operative functions. So every HR manager, whether they know it or not, knowingly or unknowingly, they are going to exhibit these two types of functions, managerial functions as well as operative functions. Now let us see the one by one. What are the different functions or the managerial functions that are being performed by the human resource manager? So first and foremost function that is performed by the human resource manager is planning. So HR manager is one of the important resource for the organization, because they are going to handle the human resources of the organization. So how they are going to handle the human resources is by way of planning function. So every human resource manager plans the different plan the activities of various people in the organization. So they know the list of people who are working in the organization and who is working under whom, and also what are the responsibilities of different people, and also what are the different people, who are the different people who are working in the organization, and finally how to ensure that. So now let us discuss about managerial functions of the Now let's see the managerial functions of the organization. Managerial functions of human resource manager. The first function in the human resource manager for the human resource manager is planning. So planning is of course one of the primary function for the human resource manager. Every human resource manager have an idea about how many people are working in the organization, and who is working under whom, and what tasks that are to be performed by each and every individual in the organization, and how these tasks are going to be linked up in the organizational overall activity. And this way is going to plan the overall people in the organization. So that is a part and parcel of planning function of the human resource manager. So human resource manager, during the process of planning itself, he will have an idea about who to be, in what way that the human resource management to be handled, how the people in the organization to be ensured the organizational goals accomplishment and all. And the second function exhibited by the human resource manager is the organizing. So he will organize the different human resources in the organization. Like say there are different people who are working in the organization. Now he is going to assign the tasks for the different people. So by way of assigning tasks, he is going to assign the roles and responsibilities of the different people. So this way is going to organize the people, and finally he will also extract the work from the people. So this way the human resource manager is going to organize the people by way of organizing function. And then directing. So once they are being established there, then they will be directed towards the work. So what work that they must be ensured, and how they are supposed to perform this particular work, and this must be ensured by this human resource manager. This is what a directing function. So in case if any support is required from the managerial or top management level, so then the human resource manager is trying to must ensure this kind of support for the lower level people and direct various activities in the organization. And the next one is a controlling function. So controlling is another important function played by the human resource manager, wherein sometimes whatever the tasks that are there in the organization might go wrong. So they may not go in an intended direction. In such a way, in such case, the human resource manager try to understand as where the deviation happened, what is the root cause for this particular deviation, and try to rectify the particular task. By doing so, the tasks can be controlled, and finally they can accomplish the organizational goals. So in this way, the human resource manager make use of the controlling function and exhibit different activities in the organization. So these are all the set of managerial functions that are being performed by the human resource manager. Now let us see the operative functions. Along with the managerial function, the human resource manager also perform various operative functions. So these are acquisition. So acquisition is something like acquiring the people to the organization. So therefore there are different tasks to be performed in the organization. So we must ensure the right people for the right job. So this task will be ensured by the acquisition. So in the process of acquisition, they will identify the need for the recruitment and finally go for the recruitment. So in this function, job analysis can be done. So in the job analysis, so they will try to understand what is the job to be performed and how to analyze the job, and finally what kind of requirement is there for the job, and how do we perform these jobs. So in the job analysis, we will identify what an amount of work to be done and how the work to be done. And in the job analysis itself, so where there is a need for the recruitment of the people. So if there is a need for the recruitment of the people, it can be identified from the process of a job analysis. And then manpower planning. Manpower planning is like the company is going to start the different projects in the future. So in case if the company is going to start the different projects, or else the company is going for the different expansion purposes. So while they are going for the expansion, then they need manpower in future. So when we need the manpower in the future, we need to plan the manpower from the prior date itself as a function of a manpower planning function. So here we need to estimate how much manpower is required, where the manpower are available, and how to acquire the manpower as also a part of manpower planning. And then requirements. So what is the current jobs, current people in the organization, how much amount of people that are available for the organization, and also what tasks that are to be performed in case whether there is a need for the going for the recruitment or not. So can be analyzed by understanding the requirements. If there is a need for the recruitment of the people, then we'll go for recruitment and selecting the candidates. So now here the technique that is right person for the right job, that is very important. So during the process of selection, they're trying to understand what roles that are available, and they are trying to acquire the right people for the right jobs. And finally, once they acquire the people, then they provide the placements for the people who are being recruited. And then induction. So not only that, they will be induced to the organizational jobs in a right way. So there must be an introduction to the organization and explained about their scope and nature of their job and all during the induction process. And then transfer. In case of any transfer that is required for the organization to be from one place to another place, sometimes what happens is key individuals may not be available at all the places. So in one place, very key employees may be available. Then you can send the trained and competent individuals to the other places where there is no such kind of candidates are available. So it is called a transfer process. So now we'll ensure the transfer and try to place the right people in the right requirements. And also promotion and demotion. So sometimes we need to take up, managers are supposed to take up promotions. They provide promotion to the people, and also in case the performance is not bad or up to the mark, then you may take the decision on even demotion also. So in this way they are going to perform the task of perform a promotion and demotion as well. So these are known as operative functions. And other operative functions are like regarding the development. So what development functions that are being performed by this HR manager is performance appraisals. Every time when the employees are performing, we need to appraise the performance performance of the employees. Because if you appraise the people who are working really working in the organization, then obviously people work well, and even it will be give a motivation for the other employees to work better. That's why performance appraisals are important, played by the human resource manager. And then training. So training is one of the important tool that is available for the HR manager to provide a sufficient training inputs for the employees, and finally improve the skills of the employees, and finally improve the efficiency of the people. And then career planning. So every employee who join in the organization expects some career development. So now, being a part of the HR, you need to ensure the career planning of the individuals, where they start their job and where they can grow, how they can grow in the organization is a part of career planning. And then career development. During the process of career development, when the employees are performing well, they must give some promotions, and finally try to ensure the career development of the individuals, which is also a part of development function. And then other operative functions are like motivation. So we will comes under the integration function. So one is the motivation. So you need to provide motivation to the employees. So you should motivate the employees. And also job satisfaction, ensure the job satisfaction for the individuals. Every time who work in the organization, definitely ensure the job satisfaction. And also grievance handling. In case of grievances because you are working with the employees, handling the human resources is a very important function, because you are working with the emotions of the people. That's why we need to handle the emotions of the people, so which is a very important one. So grievances may be common. So when there are some grievances, you need to handle the grievances in a very careful manner, so that there won't be any problems between the employee and employer. And then collective bargaining. So this is what another important function by the HR manager, that there won't be any disputes between the management and the employees. In case of those disputes, then collective bargaining is the way of resolving these disputes. And then employee participation. So some of the organization gives the priority for even employees also while taking managerial decisions or management related decisions. So where it will give the employees also an option to choose whether to go or withdraw some kind of activities in the organization, which is a part of employee participation. And then discipline. So also ensure discipline among all the activities of the human resource, which is again a part of the functions exhibited by the human resource manager. Other functions related to maintenance, organizational health must be ensured, give the good life for the organization. And then human resource audit, every time you need to conduct the human resource audit, whether the human resource practices are performing well or going on well in the organization or not, or is there any improvement for the development for the human resources or not. For all these things, what is required is the human resource audits are required. So the audits, like human resource audit, sometimes can be internal and sometimes can be external as well. In case if you need an internal audit is required, so that internally there's some problems can be rectified without going for the external audit itself, then we'll go for internal auditing. So the people who are working in the organization itself will be selected for the internal audit purpose, and they will be given certain responsibilities of auditing different things related to human resource management, and they'll take the checklist and verify whether the records are being maintained in the organization or not. So this way, internally some kind of the gaps will be understood, identified, and it gives the chance for the organization to rectify the problems in case of any within the organization itself. And in case if deep audit is required, then human resource audit, external audits also will be conducted as a part of external audits. External audit purpose, people will be invited for the organization, and then they'll conduct the external audit and ensure whether the human resource practices are performing well in the organization or not. And then human resource accounting. So maintenance of different aspects related to human resources is also very important. We need to maintain each and every record of every employee, because it's not only helpful for the organization in terms of handling the human resources, but also some of the practices to be maintained as part of human resource accounting is a mandatory practices from the government side. You need to maintain these human resource records mandatorily from the government instructions. Other functions related to compensation. So compensation is related functions are like job evaluation. It evaluate the jobs, how the jobs are being performing, whether the jobs are up to the mark or not, whether the people are performing these jobs up to the mark or not. You need to evaluate the jobs. And also wage and salary administration. So wage and salary administration is again one of the important function. Every human resource manager ensure the wage and salary administration by way of providing the wages and salaries. You will give utmost monetary benefits to the employees, and finally the people will be motivated rightly, and you can expect the right what we call the development and the efficiency in the organizational workplace. And then incentives. So incentives play an important role in the development purpose, because when you provide incentive, then it gives the kind of motivation in the employees, and with this motivation, not only that particular employee but also the subsequent employees also will be motivated and try to put their heart and soul for the jobs, and then try to develop the efficiency of the organization. And then bonus. In case if the financial things are permits, then you should provide even bonus also during the festival seasons. Then this kind of bonus, timely bonus, can help the organization to give right motivation to the employees. Fringe benefits and all helps the organization, and it's like a value addition to the employees, and employees will be delighted when you provide these fringe benefits. So these are all the functions of different functions of human resource manager. So when we conclude the topic, the human resource management plays a vital role for the organizational goals accomplishment, and it is necessary for the employee the right people for right job. So human resource management is a necessary thing for acquiring the right people for the right jobs.